They don't have a pulse. They don't have a heart. They don't have memories. They're not using any of their they might have human-like answers, but they don't have the depth of what it takes to actually really have a true conversation that's meaningful, that's heartfelt.
Hello, everyone. Happy New Year and welcome to Girls Gone Gritty 2025. And so far in Vermont, girls, it's kicked off to a great start. Back-to-back powder days. It's sunny, it's white, it's fluffy, fresh tracks. The skiing's been insane. The best way to start the new year. And more exciting, we're kicking off some fresh looks here at Girls Gone Gritty. Far, what do you have behind your microphone?
I have a nice new Got Grit hoodie. And I don't know if you guys can see, for those that are watching, it has a fabulous little checkerboard effect on one of the sleeves. And the back is actually our Girls Gone Gritty logo that you can see behind me. And it is a really comfortable, very heavy weighted, perfect hoodie. And we are adding to our facelift, have a new segment that is going to happen every episode. And it's who is our Got Grit person.
They've been recognized for their amazingness. And when are we going to do this for? Maybe at the end of the episode? Because we a little drum roll. So you're going to have to wait for it and figure out who our grit maker is each week that's got grit.
Yeah, that's pretty much
So hold on. You got to keep listening to the end of the show because maybe one day you will be our grit maker. Right.
Well, and we've got more facelifts for those of you that are tuning in on video as well, because we've gone headphone-less so you can see my earrings. We wanted to give you guys a full view of who we are and what we do.
We are so excited to bring a new segment to the house every week, and that will be the top 5 gritty headlines that we think are worthy. So we're going to start off today with number 5. Sideline celebration leaves UGA player in the doghouse.
Oh, shoot. I saw this game and I saw this clip multiple times. I feel so badly for this kid. He's a red-shirted sophomore, I think, that is just going to get his 15 minutes of fame. And hopefully it doesn't take him to the transfer portal because, wow, was he like a game changer for UGA. And I think it kind of led them to eventually lose the game, sadly.
Well, then all of a sudden, everyone's probably blaming him for the loss.
He got destroyed on social media.
Yeah, that's not the play you want to make.
Not the 2 seconds of fame he was looking for.
Definitely not.
Don't step outside of the lines. But go on.
Okay, number 4, almost a golden girl at 62. Demi Moore finally gets a Golden Globe with a revised face and a nice glow about her.
Well, who in Hollywood doesn't have a revised face and a nice glow about them? But no, literally, Demi Moore, I love her. I love all her movies. And I'm so happy that she finally got a well-deserved award.
Longevity for chicks in Hollywood. Let's go.
Absolutely. And you know what? I loved just her way of being. She had like some humility and some grace about her. She seemed really authentic. And I feel like 62 is the new 42. So good for her.
She looks
Classic.
awesome.
Classic.
Okay, number 3, Nikki Glazer drowns in coconut oil after dishing out Diddy at the Golden Globes.
Well, as I've said, I'm kind of tired of Diddy, so I don't like to give him any energy because of the ramifications he's had on so many people. So I'm done with Diddy.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, when there's victims of sexual assault that go hand in hand with like anything that's mentioned on his behalf, we have to have like some sensitivity.
Yeah, I don't think what she did was great. Same thing. It's too many people.
She got pie in the face. She throws pie and everybody's got and she got pie.
Yep. She basically got pie in the face.
Number 2, congestion toll forcing riders like cattle onto the MTA transit, aka subway slaughterhouse.
So this one kind of is close to home for my heart because I have an 86-year-old mom, but she drives from New Jersey to the city every week and she's driving all over the city. And to add this extra expense every time she crosses the lower, anywhere in the lower Manhattan, you get charged this fee just to be in the city. It's ridiculous, but I don't want her going into the subway because you are entering at your own risk. It's the wild, wild west down there. You have to, I say, Mom, pin your body against like the walls and hold the pillar until the subway comes. And I think it's just a ridiculous charge. It's going to change the economy for the city and a lot of businesses could lose out. And my poor mom.
Well, we'll see if it sticks. The city tries to do these kinds of things here and there and they rescind them. So They've gotten a lot of backlash for those of you that are not in the New York City area. This is a toll that's lower 60th Street anytime you enter or exit these areas. So we'll see. It's a pretty popular area that is in need of tourists and is in need of foot traffic that don't really want to use the subways. So
We shall see.
City.
We
Stand
shall
up
see.
the city.
Yeah.
Mass transit.
And what's number one?
And number one grit highlight is 70% of millennials are having pets instead of kids. So no generation beta.
Well, you know, if COVID taught us that people take pets and give them back, this generation is a flaky generation to begin with. So we want you to have some accountability and
I blame parenting.
nothing gives you more accountability than parenting. So let's hope that generation beta isn't just a test beta.
And Generation Beta was new to me, which this whole millennial movement is. And I just feel that they're lazy. They don't go to work. Everything is handed to them. And the fact that you see 70%, this number, it's like astonishing because they don't want to do anything for themselves.
Grandchildren.
Hello? No, but it just shows that, hey, whose fault is this? It's the parents. And, you know, probably goes back to the tablet. But
Well,
hopefully that's not true. We can change it. And because those poor animals have no idea what's in.
hopefully the millennials will have a generation beta. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for this test generation.
If you have any ideas for our top 5 weekly, please submit them. We are always looking for content, and we are so psyched that you are appreciating our new format right about now.
All right. So hang in there. We have more to come. Let's circle it back. Let's talk about a very controversial topic. Now, there's pros, there's cons. You remember going and you watch a robot movie where the robot comes and it takes over, it comes to life and it takes over. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's so sci-fi. That will never happen. Well, that's what's happening now. It's a sci-fi takeover. So today, I think it's pretty exciting that we should talk about AI because we're going to get gritty with AI today.
I think what we're going to really do is tackle Chat GPT, which stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. I mean, it's so ridiculous. And when it first came out, I was like, ooh, this is scaring me because it really has taken over the students of America. It makes things so much easier. You sound so much more articulate. And I don't know, Jen, what are your thoughts on Chat GPT?
Well, I think the interesting thing about ChatGPT is everybody think it just came out. It's actually been around for a really long time. You know, Elon Musk, Sam Altman, and a whole bunch of people from I think it's like
in
a
2015.
decade ago. Yeah, a decade ago.
2015.
You know,
Became for profit in 2019.
yeah, they kept it under wraps for a little while because they were
AI was the name of the company.
trying to figure it out. And I think that's still the name of the company that
is.
Sam Altman runs, right?
He runs it, and Elon was a co-founder.
Mm-hmm.
And Elon Musk got a little scared of the direction that it was going, and he decided to pull out and actually slapped him with a big lawsuit. So that's a little lead in right there. Is it good or is it bad?
Well, it's scary.
One of
It's
the
'cause
things
it-
that Sam Altman actually
It's
said
unknown. It's unknown.
is he's scared of his own company, and he said that on ABC News. So
Well, everything, there's no human interaction with anything. Everything is all going in a direction. It's this whole direction that the world is going. And yeah, there's some positives, but they're negatives. And for you guys having kids in school, tell us how that's working with all your kids.
I'm just going to tell you that ChatGPT was released by OpenAI on November 30th, 2022. And within 5 days of launching, they had 1 million users already. So what's frightening is it took 2.5 months for 1 million downloads. And Netflix, it took 3.5 years for 1 million downloads. They had 1 million followers in 5 days.
Well, that's because they know the algorithm, and here's the reality: is that the algorithms are math, and everything is math. And even you can be annoyed at chat GPT, and you can be annoyed at the metric, but people want the data, and people want to optimize their life, and they want to optimize their potential, and they want to optimize and optimize and optimize and optimize. And the reality is that human beings, we are imperfect. and we don't know the answers. And we are constantly being excelled by being on the shoulders of somebody who knew more. So I don't have to go research and get the information for myself firsthand because I can Google it.
Which is
So
devastating.
so
because
it's there.
I think
They
AI
had
is also another one.
they used whale oil to light their houses, and they rode horses and camels. And technology has moved us into a place where we can move faster, we can be healthier, we can do a lot of things because of innovation. And should we be cautious with AI? Absolutely. I don't disagree with that. But
I was very happy that
that's the
the
human
United
that's the
States-
human aspect of it.
I was very happy that the US wasn't at the top of the consumer list of AI. Okay. So what I saw was the top 10 countries that are actually really utilizing it. And India came in at number one.
Of course they did.
Which maybe we're
They're
being
data.
their
Yes,
IT
it's-
sector, so
So, and in fairness, they're also trying to catch up to a society that's like already been globalized. We're already ahead of them. Their poverty rate is very, very high, and their innovations and their ability for upper echelon is all based in tech.
we did not make it in the top 10. So I was very happy about that. But one of the things that I will say that upsets me, I said to my child the other day, who is in college, and I said to her, how often do you use GPT? Like, you talk to me about it. And she goes, you mean Chad? She's like, Chad is my best friend. Chad. And
Of course she has a name for ChatGPT.
I'm like, I wonder if guys have Charla.
I'm sure they do.
Charlotte or whatever. It's a girl for the dudes and a dude for the girls.
Well, that's a whole other episode.
Well, you never know. It could be girl, could be guy.
That's a whole another episode.
Yes.
When she told me Chad was her best friend, I'm like, what do you mean he's your best friend? She's like, well, I talk to him every day. And I'm like, okay, that's a problem. I said, that's actually a problem. I said, that's cheating. She's like, it's not cheating. It's what everybody does. So, if you flip a coin and you start talking about the pros and then the cons, it's interesting because yes, it's going to help you save time, and Google is at the, touch of your fingers. But the old school way of doing things really taught you, and it was a disciplined process. You had to go to the library, you had to pull out encyclopedias, you actually had to read, you had to make notes, you had to maybe get the microfiche out and really try to target exactly what you were looking for, the information that you needed to do. You were doing real research, you were writing down your sources, and your sources were included in your paper. This isn't happening these
Or you had Cliff Notes when you had to read.
Which is
that
another
was the
innovation,
cheating.
though.
That
That's
was
an
cheating.
innovation too.
That was
That's an
innovative.
innovation.
That was innovative.
I mean,
No, I remember I went to GMVS and I got there and they were like, you have to read 150 pages of War and Peace each night. I came from Montclair High. I was like, what? And I was behind. So talked to my brothers and they're like, oh, no, you get Cliff Notes. So I got Cliff Notes to try to catch up. And I finally caught up and was like, okay, I have to put this aside because you almost feel like you're cheating. Because it's better when you learn page to page. And but I had to catch up because I started in a winter term or something. So it was crazy.
But it's going to be interesting because, back to our music segment a little bit, our Ice Baby, when he started that and he stole the lyrics, help me with his name. And
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice, and he got ostracized.
Nelly.
He got ostracized. No, they were lip syncing. He was an innovator. And he took samples, which everybody does now. Every single artist samples and takes and pulls the best little pieces out of music and they move it. And meanwhile, him being the innovator and the leader back in the 80s on it, he got hammered. He got hammered for it, ostracized, and put out to pasture. And now that's commonplace. And the other thing I'll say about education and AI is that a microfiche and a library for a lot of developing countries, and you brought up India, is not accessible. And for a lot of places like the opportunities in colleges aren't accessible. But guess what? Everybody has an iPhone. And if you really think that education is the equalizer on the world and bringing poverty out of places and getting people to a place where they're working and not taking and all that kind of stuff, then education is that access. And if innovations like ChatGPT can help people get to a place where they're taking care of themselves, that's a innovation that I think is for the good.
Well, it's also hard. Not everybody has an iPhone. So that's one thing. But
it's pretty close.
yeah, but you have it for the majority, but there are people that do not. But AI, you can get anywhere. I just got the iPhone 16 and I don't want it anywhere near me. I feel like it's a radiation bubble. But every time I talk about a topic that is something that I'm not really talking about often, like I want to go buy these Stoko, these ski pants that have compression on both legs, and then like 10 companies show up. So you
Yeah.
talk about anything, music, songs. I can't imagine what's going to come up today. But like
Listening.
AI, it's just taking over.
It is.
It's the chatbot, but it's frustrating. It's not an easy source
I'm going
to
to tell you
always
some
go.
negatives. I'm going to tackle
Well,
them right now. Spread
yeah.
misinformation. That is a huge fact because there's no fact checking here. How do we know where this information is coming from? Lack of factual accuracy is really a big deal. We're becoming too dependent on technology. Like I've said in other episodes, we can't find our way places because we use Waze. We don't know our kids' phone numbers because it's just an automatic, they're dumbing us down. And if you don't think AI is going to dumb us down and take our jobs, you're crazy. I mean, like they already are. I think we just saw some crazy billboard in San Fran where it said, don't hire humans. It was like, hire AI.
Everything is an AI call center, which gets really frustrating. So anytime you need something, you spend a ton of money on a product, it's called the AI call center, and you have this chatbot, and you're like, wait a minute, I need to get an answer, and the frustration is there of, oh my gosh, I can never get an answer. Now I was talking to
I've
Jeff.
never felt anything. They don't have a pulse. They don't have a heart. They don't have memories. They're not using any of their human. They might have human-like answers, but they don't have the depth of what it takes to actually really have a true conversation that's meaningful, that's heartfelt.
No, I mean, listen, I agree. I mean, I don't think that, if we're talking about education and AI, I don't think that the AI should become a robot that comes into the classroom and starts to teach your kid. But there are companies that are innovating and creating better ways for teachers to figure out kids with different learning abilities, what the best way to teach them is, because they can identify patterns much quicker than a teacher that is got, 30 kids in their classroom and can't give the one kid that's not doing well the attention they deserve. And AI can identify some of those like outlier type of issues. To me, it's like if we use things responsibly, there's a lot of really good innovations. So part of the problem is that in my view, is who's in charge of monitoring and managing, even insofar of like the cheating. So you referenced ChatGPT. Shane was in a tech class at University of Florida, and he got flagged for cheating, and he did not cheat. He actually borrowed a piece of code, one line of code, and went to a friend in his fraternity and asked, like, I can't get past this line of code. I need some help. And the friend gave him the one line of code, and then Shane continued on. It would be like saying, I don't remember what 9 times 9 is, right? Plugged in 81 and then kept going on his way. And he got flagged because they use AI to check the work, and he got a slap on the hand, and thank God, like, he could do a story. But there are a lot of crazy implications when it comes to what is cheating when you're talking about technology.
Well, do you think
you're not using a thinking skill either? I mean, like critical thinking is taken out of the
Right.
the whole scheme if you're using AI. So therefore, it's like kids don't have good penmanship because they're not writing anymore.
They don't even give penmanship classes though anymore in
They
school.
don't
Well,
have to write
Seegert
It's
does.
been a long time.
They don't know how to write a check. They don't know how to address, an envelope. I mean,
Check.
they don't know how to do it. I know.
Doing checks anymore.
It's just frightening. So one of the things that makes me sad is I've heard AI ramble, or I've read their rambling. Like somebody at one point said to me, why don't you put in your mom's eulogy, and just see how eloquent and articulate it gets spit out. So I had all the facts and I had the direction that I was going to go in, but I filled in the blanks, where my mom was born, where she went to college, how, all these things. And all of a sudden spews out this like beautiful declaration of life, yet it was missing the heartbeat. And there was some nonsensical information because it couldn't put together the heartfelt part of what I was supposed to be doing. So that's the other thing. When it doesn't understand, it kind of makes up something and kind of adds something that's like irrelevant.
Because there's no human interaction. So they have no feelings. They just know what's advancing. So what do you think are you guys, So as the U.S. advances with AI, what do you guys feel is like are the repercussions for kind of the country?
Well, let's say, first of all, what I can tell you is that from what I read too, the industry itself was $4 billion in 2023. It was $5.57 billion. And they estimate that the market growth is going to be 30% year over year compounded. So it's going like no one has ever seen before. And that's undeniable. So to me, it's more of, the question isn't so much of like what's going to happen. It's coming, it's happening. Whatever you can imagine is on its way. But to me, the bigger issue is that how do we make sure we manage it? Because if we look at social media and we allow the companies to manage it and we don't get our government in control and we don't have some parameters, we're going to have the problems that we have on steroids with AI. And even if you think that all of the benefits of like education normalization and optimization are there, it's still going to not be okay because people are going to misuse it. So
there's going to be no regulating that. People are going to misuse it no matter what.
Well, but they're regulating social media now. It's too late, too little, but they're putting, at least for the youth, you have to listen, before prohibition and before like things, they didn't have a drinking age or a driving age or things like that. And then they learned that you can't give tools of addiction to children. Like this is a tool of addiction, as is AI.
I don't think it's going to stop. I think it's like Facebook. And I don't think that there's any information about what it's going to do to us futuristically because there's no testing. Everybody that's throwing Ozempic in their body and they're not diabetic. What's the long-term result?
Well, I think right now for like what we're trying to talk about though is like what are we going to do about our kids that are not learning in colleges, God forbid? Like, what are we going to do if you paid, like people are paying 90 grand a year to send their kids to college and they cheated the whole time. So they really know no life skills. And because of technology, they know no people skills. So they really know nothing when they graduate.
Not retaining anything because it's just getting regurgitated. Correct. So there's the critical thinking.
So I think
find their way out of a box.
No, because think of old school ways where I still handwrite in a big notebook. I love to handwrite questions, answers, to-do lists, things. I have to write a letter. I handwrite it and then I'll put it in the computer and I'll print it. But it's so old school. I know it's a few more steps, but you learn from it. You learn as you're writing. You learn as you're looking at kind of the words on a piece of paper. AI, you hit a button and there's your resume all done. Want your bio done?
It can write essays. It can write articles. It can write emails. It can change facial appearances. It can. It
performs surgery.
Can
right
it give
now.
me a rack?
It performs surgery right now. Let's be honest. The question isn't like what can it do. The question is it's already here. And to me, the bigger question is what is our society? What are we as parents? Let's start to me. It's like most of the time I'm like, let me start with me. Let me make sure my kids aren't like, using ChatGPT to write every term paper. Let me make sure that they're, not plugging in an algorithm into something that they don't even understand what they're doing. But that's really hard
to stay and develop when they're in college and have a friend like Chad that they talk to every day.
It's really hard.
Well, there's schools also that they see the papers that are coming from AI and I know that I know students that have gotten in trouble because the teachers look and they go, this was from AI and I'm failing you on that. So schools are becoming more aware. Teachers are becoming more aware of it. And that's what they have to do is they have to start putting their foot down, colleges, high school, grammar school, not so much, and saying, hey, if you use AI, you're going to fail. Nevertheless, you're going to fail in life. But once they start putting their feet down and setting the standards and setting the stage for, hey, we need to set you up for success, not failure. That's when I think AI you can embrace it a little more once you have kind of a direction on where it could go. Now, are you for or are you against it, Far?
I mean, I think I am for it in certain areas with a lot of due diligence. I'm not really a fan. If we're just talking about ChatGPT, I'm not a fan. I do think that there's a million reasons that AI will benefit us in the long term, from a medical, a technological, whatever. But I do not see any need for it in the school system or the school sector. I think it is going to dumb our kids down. I think that all of this technology is trying to dumb us down because it's taking over what we are supposed to do. It's taking over our jobs. It's taking away our thinking ability. It's replacing us. And I'm not for it in that regard. Nope.
When you talk about taking away jobs, Jeff, he was on the air train. He got in late from a weekend, with the boys, had all his golf bag, had all his gear, got on the air train, and all of a sudden it was midnight and it like just stopped in the middle of nowhere. And he said there was nobody to talk to. There was a button to call basically a chatbot. And he tried for like 40 minutes to get a hold of someone and waiting on the other end. So right as you say, it takes away jobs right there. I mean, you used to be able to pick up a phone and someone would be like, "Hi there, Newark Airport. How can I help you? This is dispatch." No, you get nothing. So I think it teaches you patience because I lose my mind when I try to get a hold of somebody and I can't. I'm just saying.
Well, it's going to take a brain to go fix that. Okay. It's going to take a human
Yeah.
to go fix that problem. You're not going to be able to like go to chatbot or get an AI and say, "I'm frustrated and we need answers right now," because it doesn't work like that. So it's going to take a human who actually figured it out and is the producer of AI and technology to troubleshoot. So that's a problem right there. And for Sam to say on ABC Live, my own company scares me is very telling. And for Elon Musk to be in a 165 to 170 IQ realm, for him to bag out of it because he's actually concerned of the direction that it's going, to me, it's becoming a monster. It's like Frankenstein.
That's why he's got a rocket to get off the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
and like, Tesla cars and things that can keep, people from shooting them and bombing them.
Well,
No, Tesla, they just turned the button off. Boop. Sorry. We're not going
Here's
to.
the problem. Here's the
Charging
problem.
station
At this
off.
current moment, the humans are still in charge.
Yes.
And I don't know that we have the right people in place that aren't money hungry, power hungry, fame, glory, and everything is more important than,
Trying to control the population.
correct,
And
than everything else. So, as much as I want to be optimistic about AI and its potential to help solve like complex, environmental and ecological and health and all well-being of the planet kind of things that I really do fundamentally believe it will happen. The downside at this moment far outweighs the upside, even though I see a ton of benefits. So, I mean, I think your Girls Gone Gritty, we're always trying to look at both sides of things and have a real conversation and create inspiring moments for you to go back and talk to your family about these things. Find out if your kids are on ChatGPT at school. Find out, like, does your spouse use ChatGPT in the workplace to improve? You see the commercials on TV. Do they have a conversation with ChatGPT to make their email better? Is that really their authentic voice? And we want your authentic voice at Girls Gone Gritty. So we really want to hear from you. We want you to take this episode, share it with a friend, and get them involved in the conversation on ChatGPT and AI.
And it's just like I said in the open, go out and watch those sci-fi movies as the robots come and they take over the world. Don't let it happen. Hold on to your kids. Hand them a book. Say, come on, no cheating, right, Far?
Yeah.
So far, who's our Got Grit maker of the week?
And that would be Simone Biles. And
Also,
Sports Illustrated named her the 2024 Sports Person of the Year. And I think she deserves it on every level. I mean, not only did she come back from something pretty horrific, not only has she gotten on her soapbox and tackled some really hardcore issues, but she came back and she won 3 gold medals. I mean, she's changed the face of women's gymnastics. She's the most highly decorated performer. And I read an article where she actually said she didn't come out and say that she's not going to participate in the 2028 Olympics, but she used very strong words like it would be greedy or snobby if I were to participate because I don't really think that I can go back and do anything that I haven't already done. I mean, she's won it all. So,
Right.
Simone Biles,
wow.
All right, let's give her.
might be seeing a fabulous Got Grit hat or a sweatshirt, which is available on our website. So please go to www.girlsgonegritty.com if you're interested in any of our swag.
Love it. It's great swag. Awesome job. And Simone Biles, she's such a cutie. And boy, she's a solid
Ladies,
athlete.
and you know what? Like, get on
Yeah.
with her life. She's got that big, cute football player.
It sounds good now to like take a break, but in 4 years, that just knowing from how I am, 2 years from now, she's gonna be like getting the itch. But
Look at
no,
you
it's
being
exciting. And
retired, it
You're
doesn't matter
entitled. You're
what's
entitled to
happening.
change your mind.
You can
You're
change your
entitled
Yes.
to change your mind as long as you do it authentically. And she's been gritty by like what everything that she's done with winning, with stepping off the field, with stepping back onto the field, with taking a side step. We like to dance and party here on Girls Gone Gritty. So we'll take Simone Biles as our Got Grit winner every day of the week, and it's so awesome. She's our first one. I love
Yep.
it.
All right, guys. So no Chad. Please, no Chads in your house.
No Chads, no Chads, no Chads. Ask your kids what they're doing. Check in on everything that with the people that you love. Create conversations. Hopefully, we've inspired you to do that today. And just really, enjoy 2025, being the best version of yourself you can, being true and real and authentic, unscripted, every day, coming to you live from Bring It On Studios. So that's
And-
really exciting.
And what do you have playing on the microphone today, Jen? What's this new
So-
strategy we're doing?
What we're trying to do is we're trying to inspire you. And guess what? I'm inspired every day by amazing musicians. I believe there are poets of today. And what we're going to do for you is we're going to inspire you with maybe some music that you don't know, maybe some music that you forgot you to listen to, maybe some music that, my girls here don't even know or forgot about. So we're going to challenge my co-hosts each week. One of us will pick a song and we'll read out some lyrics to our listening audience and to the girls here on Girls Gone Gritty. And we'll see if they can figure out which song it is.
Reading lyrics or listening?
Reading first
Okay.
and then listening, giving you a little more of a clue. And then we'll tee up the song for you. And we're going to create a playlist. This is going to be the beginning of the Girls Gone Gritty playlist that you'll be able to also follow on all of your listening opportunities, whether it's Apple or Spotify. So we'll be adding that to our repertoire of fun things in 2025. So ready
Should
for
we
your
test drive it?
first snippet of music today? One of my favorites. I will give a little bit of a cue on that. Here it is. You say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. Pretty good quote for 2025, I think. I think the unity that January is going to bring is going to come. And you know what? Let's dream on the way that Martin Luther King did and the way that this inauguration is going to bring this country and hopefully will be a beacon of leadership in the world. So you guys have any idea what song that is?
I felt like I was humming something as you were reading it, but I can't remember exactly what I was humming.
DJ Dizzy D in the house. She might know.
Let's see.
Or I'll give you the lyrics.
You guys know it now?
1000%. And
Yep.
as a tip, his daughter is a very animal conscious, animal cruelty free designer. So that's a good little tip right there.
Not sure it's his daughter. Maybe it's his,
McCartney's daughter.
but that's John Lennon.
Oh my God. Well, I knew it. At
Beatles.
least I knew.
It was Beatles, but that's
It was
John
the
Lennon.
Beatles.
That's John Lennon.
Did you see Alice and Olivia came up with a whole Beatles collection? Her pieces are incredible. And I actually got a pair of the pants. I got them from Santa Claus to wear for Beyond the Game on Wednesday night. They're sick.
Ben.
Everything is a collaborative, all about the
are
Beatles.
Always in.
They're always in.
Always
Always
in.
It's never out.
And I didn't know
Maybe
they
it
were
also
doing
is never
collab.
out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I
And-
got to look that up because I remember when my kids were really little, they had that collab with John Lennon's artwork, and I bought all of that stuff too. So I mean, he's inspirational again for today's youth. If you don't know, hopefully you do know John Lennon. For the audience that's younger than us, I mean, he was not my generation. He died when I was 10 years old, but his messages should be very, very poignant every day of your life. And again, especially starting off this segment in 2025, I couldn't have picked a more favorite place to be. So leading up with the music always, we're going to bring this segment to you each week, and it's not always going to be me. My girls are going to stunt me, and we hope that at some point you'll send some music into us to maybe suggest for the show.
Yeah. And you know what music never gets old is a little stick 'em, ha ha ha, stick 'em.
I
Come on out.
Too.
I didn't really warm up.
Na, 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 na.
Let
We'll see you next week.
See you later.
Peace out.